whatever. Weather report for June 20th, 2022. You realize I've been writing May in most of my weather reports and nobody noticed.
I did not. I did not. I thought you were. Oh well, I don't read I guess it's mundane information because I only read the stuff to the right of the day
Right.
usually.
Yeah. Yep. Information that you think you already know, but apparently not. So, Gurmania, we have some fucking questions. You better get your butt in here.
Well, he says he's at work and he can't. So
Oh,
maybe we will excoriate him if he is able to join later, or
like
maybe
anyone would give him a job. Oh, come on. I mean,
yeah.
really, he's
Well,
lying.
maybe he's standing behind a counter somewhere going, "Would you like fries with that?"
Maybe, yeah, could be. I don't even know if they should trust him with that. I don't know. Not sure. Anyway, so Dr. Ben Goult reached out to me. He has a new preprint paper. I'm not sure how papers work, but he's got a preprint, and he has some wonderful animations on his YouTube site, and I've linked to his YouTube site. And he has some new information on talons and information in the synapse between neurons. Yeah, and he's going to. He's still working on some other things, but he said that we will probably be doing a hangout soon and looking at his new research. I have not had. I just got the message 20 minutes before, so I haven't had a chance to read the paper.
Just reply and go, "When are you available?"
Right.
And then get that started, man. Get that conversation, that negotiation. We do high-level negotiations here just to get the information to you. They're our audience, and of course, our faithful side chat participants.
Yep. For some reason, nothing is working. Nothing. What on earth is wrong with this computer? Oh my goodness.
Okay, so Gurr claims that he sells his body for money. Invest is saying, well, that's because you're a crash test dummy. So when he says he sells his body, he's not really being quite truthful in what it implies.
Right. Are you familiar with the band Crash Test Dummies?
I think I may have heard of them at some point, but they have not been in my brain in a long time.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Saw them at First Avenue. Let's see here. Where the hell is... I got a problem with my camera. I don't understand what the problem is. Not working. I guess I'll unplug it and plug it back in.
Let me show everybody our new excitement that we're just happy to be covering here in the upcoming near future. So here I am. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just going to hold it up to the camera here. The Failures of Mathematical Anti-Evolution by Jason Rosenhaus.
And that's 2022.
I don't know where you heard of. Yeah, it's a 2022 publication. So he recently did his calculations.
I think Stupid Horror Energy is the one that gave us that book.
So I was wondering when you had heard of it, if it was at the same time as I did or whatever, but it just sounds like a very interesting topic because we know that, folks like Otangelo and others like to throw probabilities around like crazy and at no time, in my waking day, am I prepared to sit down and actually calculate by hand the actual probabilities. So it's just going to show different places where creationists misuse numbers to try to bullshit and try to maybe they believe these numbers are real. The people quoting them are accurate or being used properly. But we're just going to get to the bottom of that because innumeracy is a problem in the United States. Quite a few people don't understand numbers the way they maybe should.
And they don't know how to use probability.
Right. And, I was asking you some basic questions, and you were having a tough time explaining to me, and I took statistics in college way back when. So it's just a matter of, getting familiar with it and understanding the rhetorical tricks that are used with big numbers and small numbers.
And
a really small number is really no different than a really, really large number in that they're hard to comprehend.
Yep. So, and Scott and I both decided on our own independently to start reading chapter 6, which is named Information and Complexity, or Combinatorics. Is it information? Yeah, information and combinatorial search.
Yep.
And on page 184, he says, as I noted in section 1.3, where anti-evolutionists see a devastating argument. Where have you heard that recently?
It's devastating to evolutionism.
Against evolution, scientists just see an absurd caricature of a major branch of mathematics. So Sal Cordova did another video on this RNA, basically biomolecular condensates again. And I would like to talk to him to see if I could get him to understand how him finding a paper where a handful of RNAs are useful does not prove that none of it's junk or whatever, and he is obsessed with the junk DNA thing, and he's obsessed with Dan Grar, because Dan Grar said, if ENCODE is right, evolution must be wrong, which is like, okay.
Overstatement by creationists.
Well, Dan Grar is not a creationist, but that was an overstatement by an evolution.
Okay, that's weird.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I guess you need to be ready for anything when you're in the information business.
Right. But actually, we used to think 100% of the genome had to be functional back in the 50s and 60s. That's what we believed. And we were shocked when we found out that, only about 1% of it coded for proteins.
Scientists are speechless.
What does the rest of that do? It's just like it was very surprising. So anyway, then a few.
See, that's a rhetorical trick too. Is unjustified extrapolation.
Yeah, well, a few scientists started coming up with this idea that what is the rest of it, junk, or does it do something? And ever since then, we have been looking into what it does, and we find more and more about what it does and what it doesn't do. And most of what we're finding about RNAs, particularly long non-coding RNAs, is that they kill you. they can cause all kinds of havoc in your genome. The other thing we're finding about them is they're very necessary for some complexes and functions. So, I mean, the idea being dragged constantly into this junk DNA bullshit. Junk DNA is not a technical term. It's not a term in biology. It's not something that we define or support or have anything to do with, other than that we will use it in rhetoric, right? I mean, people like to use the word junk in rhetoric. It's not a technical term in biology. There's no fucking such thing.
That's another rhetorical trick, is get people talking in your terms and not the actual terms.
It is. And, you tend to lead people, lead them by their nose into an argument that they don't even want to have. It's just like, oh my God. Anyway. So,
I think Jorge is jealous that we're not talking about rocks.
I'm actually willing to talk about some rocks if he is.
Yeah.
If he wants to pop in.
Did you know there's a pumice raft heading towards Australia right now?
Oh no!
A what raft?
A pumice raft.
Huh?
Yeah. In fact, at least one naval ship has gotten caught in the raft. It's basically pumice that was blown out by that Tonga, whatever volcano. and it just started floating towards Australia because all that ash rock has to go somewhere, and it's going to hit the coast of Australia. They're just not quite 100% certain about where, but it can clog up the cooling systems and things like that of different ships' engines, and so it's kind of a dangerous thing in that sense. But
is it traveling at 45 miles an hour, and is it going to make a mountain range?
I don't think I don't know how long it would take to get to Australia from Hunga Tonga, Bombasta, or whatever, at 45 miles an hour. So I can't say yes or no. I can say I kind of doubt it, but I'm not going to say no for sure.
It'll probably crash into the continent and create a mountain range. Like that's all the Himalayas were formed.
Yeah. Maybe
Hey,
so. But they actually use pumice that has landed on different beaches and stuff to figure out if there's any unknown seabed eruptions, where it basically bubbles up, lava bubbles up and throws out a little pumice and just grows the bottom of the sea a little, but they're scientifically valuable because they provide, once again, information about geology. And I don't know if Stupid Whore Energy heard us talking about how both of you and I got that book and the failures of mathematical anti-evolutionism, and we're going to be going through it. It was such an interesting topic to me. I suspended my historical Jesus studies. And,
he takes on Douglas Axe in that chapter that we're reading.
Oh, he does? No, I don't remember who Douglas Axe is.
Douglas Axe is the guy that came up with the idea that that very few proteins are functional in the protein space, and there's no way that evolution could have gotten from one to the other.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I remember that discussion.
10 to the 77th power, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of Otangelo's
his animated
numbers.
place says here, evolution.
Evolution.
It's okay. God, did you listen to the stream with Sal Cordova and Emery Moyna and Rebecca?
Oh, did he stream recently?
I think it was last night. It was on his other channel, on his academic thing.
I don't look much at what Sal's doing now that he's kind of banned me.
Yeah,
no real point.
It was pretty incredible. With they were going on about biomolecular condensates again and RNA.
Again?
Yeah, it was all pretty funny. But anyway, so we aren't prepared to talk about Ben Goult, but there's a link to his channel, and there are some animations here.
Isn't that the same Ben Goult who talked to Maddox one time?
Yes, exactly. Right. Yeah, he's the one with the talon proteins. And this is one of his animations.
That looks like a failed arts and craft project that I tried to do one year at Vacation Bible School.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Icarus's comment here.
Pretty cool animations. So anyway, he's got a whole bunch of them. Animations are very helpful.
They are helpful.
If they don't leave out too much information. Once again, there's that word, information. Information is everywhere.
Information.
Another pun using my name. I've heard so many.
Yep. Oh, some bad ones. I'm pretty sure you've heard some.
Very clever.
I'm used to it by now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm kind of used to the whole phenomenon because growing up, of course, my last name, Duke, there was no end to the word games that they would make out of that.
Oh, man.
Everybody who had a dog or whose grandpa had a dog or whose cousin had a dog named Duke, I would learn about.
I just got the bruise neck, cut neck, scratch neck.
Oh, yeah. Very clever. I don't know why I've never thought of that.
So clever. So clever. Just amazed. Oh, where are we here? So anyway, I don't know if we should even talk about that, but I went out to the UCSC genome browser and I went out to ENCODE and I picked up one particular experiment that they did to find the transcription of a long non-coding RNA, basically. And it came up with this, let's see, which was this one? I forget. That was where I started, but then I came up with, it's called mTOR AS1. And I don't know if you can see it on the screen here. I might have to move it over here a little bit. Hang on a second. Let me move that guy over. And you can't see my cursor, but you see that mTOR AS1 in a green box up there? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's right smack in the middle of a gene, mTOR gene, which basically is transcribed going left to right. So, on the main strand, left to right. But every now and then, this mTOR AS1 gets transcribed in the middle of starting in one of the introns and creates a long non-coding RNA. Okay. And that goes right to left. The arrows are pointing the other way. So it just happens that there is a promoter that is strong enough that every now and then that thing gets transcribed. Okay.
Okay.
And so then I went out and I looked for information on this thing on AS1. And I did a search on Google Scholar and I found that there are two papers. Identification of Hubble link RNAs in head and neck cancer, and then another one, testicular expression. The testicles tend to express a whole lot for some reason, and there's two papers on it basically. So this is something. This is one of the long non-coding RNAs that are transcribed. They end up in our cell. They're going to have some effect on our cell, however vanishingly small, but it's going to be an effect. But it does not show that this thing is functional. It shows that we found it, that we know it's out there. We know it's doing something.
Right.
Along with hundreds of thousands of other ones that are also basically looked at in varying, we know varying amounts of things about each of these non-coding RNAs. Some of them are functional, some of them appear to do nothing at all. Lots of them tend to kill you. They find them expressed highly in diseases. They'll find that there's this expression that's over the top. But anyway, ENCODE went out and they did a whole bunch of experiments and they found this. Where is it here? Okay, I think it's this track right here. You can't see my cursor, but you can see me moving along that track down there.
Yeah.
I believe that is the track that tells you what the expression levels are. So we got a little spike right here, right? So a small spike. So that's expressed at some level, whereas the exons for mTOR have the big spikes that go all the way up to the top, right? It shows it on a scale of 0 to 100, so that shows that it's strongly expressed. mTOR is a gene that has to do with apoptosis and cell growth and a bunch of other things. So we know that's expressed. But here's what ENCODE found. They found these little spikes here and there that things are expressed at some level. Do we know what they do? Nope, not all of them. We know, we're looking. Now, are biologists not looking at them because they're afraid that it will disprove evolution?
Or maybe they're just lazy and ill-informed.
We just don't have enough money to look at all of them. And it's like, so anyway, but when they pop up in a disease, then they're like, oh, wait a minute. Like there was another one that I looked at, another long-coding, non-coding RNA that is called NEAT or NEAT1. And that one shows up highly expressed in Parkinson's patients, people with Parkinson's disease. And they're like, okay, why is that, highly expressed in these with this particular disease? So they're looking at, as many of them as they can. But anyway, but here's the other thing. Look at all that space where we don't see any expression, right? Like right there. I mean, that's very, very tiny. But here, right here, ENCODE would pick that up. And then, because, I mean, how do you calculate 80% is functional from this? The really highly functional parts are the strong lines here. Okay.
Well, it's because they defined function using biological activity. What it was.
Biological activity, right? And there's biological activity all over here. At least noisy biological activity. They're going to find it everywhere in all these huge stretches. But is it junk? I wouldn't call it junk because junk is not a technical term. Is it conserved or non-conserved? That's what I want to know, right? That's all I care about. But let's see here.
I think the important thing is it doing, and I guess this is kind of a subjective way of terming it, but it might be doing something, but is it doing something important enough for the organism that it actually matters?
And if it's if it's doing something or not doing something and it's floating around and it's transcribed, then it's subject to natural selection and it's subject to fitting into a biochemical pathway. So there is a possibility that with another mutation that meets it halfway, that it could form a network where something actually happens, where it actually gains a function. And that's how information is gained or function is gained in the genome over time, basically, all these small pathways. And if you were to try to draw out these pathways, you would you'd run out of ink and you'd end up with a big ball of ink on the paper, right? Trying to draw all the different connections and pathways.
Right.
There's another thing that they like to show, and that is the harmonosome. Let me see here. We got you see. I think it's this one. Yeah, the harmonosome. Basically, the harmonosome is a big assay where they went out and found out everything that this thing could possibly interact with, and where where it happens.
Oh, wow.
So they have a low expression or whatever. And if you remember the chromosome 2 fusion discussions with SFT, this is one of the things that he linked to because this is the only thing that indicates anything about that DDXL. Let's see, what is it? DDX11L2. Let's see, it was the pseudogene basically that you find right at the fusion site.
Right.
The only reference to it is found on harmonosome because I don't know where they got their data or how they put it together, but there's a reference on harmonosome. No one else found any function for this highly functional gene of SFTs. DDX11.
What function did they find for it exactly?
None. It just, all harmonosome does is tell you whether or not it hooks up to something else, whether it sticks to something else. Like if it sticks to something,
right?
If you had a dust bunny, and the dust bunny stuck to something,
right?
Is functionality.
It's kind of like the other metaphor often given, like trash smells funny. Does that mean it does something that's functional? Oh no, of course not.
Yeah.
So kind of similar.
What do we got here? Okay.
Just because something does something doesn't mean it's functional. There's a distinction to be made there.
Right.
Which of course SFT would strongly disagree with for obvious reasons.
Here's a kind of a blown up picture on UCSC of an exon in a gene, basically. And this small area, these the blocks. Oh, you can't see where I am, can you?
Nope.
God damn it. Okay.
You don't find
oh boy, I clicked on a block.
marble.
Okay, you see the green blocks here, methionine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the start codon basically for the exon.
Right.
And then we have a glutamic acid next. And what is that next one? An E, 2 glutamic acids. And then we've got a proline, and then we got a glutamine, and then we got a serine, and on, right? Aspartic acid. And anyway, so that's the first part of the exon that ends up in the protein. But the area, this little thinner bar on the bottom, shows you where the promoters are for the gene. And when you look at those, if you blow them up, they look like a little shorter bar and then stuck to a big bar, that sticks up higher, and that would be the exon. So, but anyway, you can see that there's an ATG here, which is what codes for methionine, and then a GAG codes for glutamic acid, and etc. Okay, and this is highly blown up. So we could, we could go out 100 times, and there it is.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that little guy suddenly disappeared, turned into a little block. You can't even see the promoter on it though, which is surprising.
So the non-blue areas, those are the introns.
Introns, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And you'll find long non-coding reverse transcription occasionally in introns, and that creates these little tiny RNAs, or small RNAs that end up having function here and there.
Hmm.
And Cell phoned a handful of them, and he extrapolated that to the entire genome. Shows it's all functional.
Of course.
And they, just like that part in the book I just read, they like devastating for evolution.
Right.
And then he says, Dan Grar says, if ENCODE is right, evolution is wrong. I don't know why Dan Grar said that.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that's like he said that, but he meant something else, or
that's something else, right? Well, Dan Grar was pushing back against the ENCODE when they released in 2012, I think it was. They made a big deal of 80% of the genome was functional, and everybody said, "Wait a fucking minute! What do you mean functional? It's not functional. It's biochemically active. You can't say functional." And when I wrote to ENCODE, they wrote back to me and said, "We don't use the word functional anymore." Because they got into a little bit of trouble over that, People got it a little angry.
I mean, this is the important thing in science, though. Is like, if you have some new discovery, you gotta have your peers look at it, and if it doesn't match what we already know and what they think is the to be accurate and whatnot, then you gotta throw it out, unfortunately.
Yeah. This is that P53 tumor suppressor that everybody's all excited about because the interferon and all that stuff. This is the gene for it, TP53. The gene is named TP53, and the protein is called P53. So this is the gene. And then they've got the ENCODE tracks down here. I think this is an ENCODE track. I would have to scroll way to the right in order to find that. But I wonder what would happen if I made this bigger. Yeah, that's ENCODE CREs. Let me see if I can show that on the bottom. So the ENCODE information has been incorporated with all these browsers. I don't understand why it's not showing. Oh, I know. Oh, anyway. You can get your tracks on the bottom here by doing this little trick. No, it's still not showing. What? Oh, there. No, it's still not showing. I don't understand. It's an OBS issue. Sorry, guys.
Oh, well.
It's not showing. Yeah, it's clipping the right. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's because I don't have Chrome all. There you go. Now, let me do it again. Go back there. It's going to work this time.
Now that Gurmania is back in the side chat,
yeah,
question just popped up in my head. I wonder how many cell phones have been dropped into fryers because the workers were like looking at their texts and stuff while.
Oh yeah.
You think that? I wish we had statistics on that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I used to fry donuts back when I first got married. I was working at a bakery for 50 cents an hour, and I fried donuts. And if I'd had a cell phone, I would have dropped that cell phone in that fryer.
Well, let's just ask Gura. Hey, Gura, How many
Yeah,
times have you dropped your cell phone into the
in the
fryer
fryer. Yeah.
when you're at work?
So you see the tracks on the right, Andrew? That's where the encode CCREs are. And
Which color are they? There's so many things on the screen right now.
Okay, there's a green bar. You see that green bar that I popped up? Okay, that's the encode stuff right there.
Okay.
And this one shows you the different tissues where it's active. And let's see, this is substantia nigra, which is a part of the brain. It's a black little part of the brain. This is ectocervix. I don't know what the hell that is. Cervix. I don't know. Outside of the cervix. And my mouse is in front of the thing, so I can't tell what that is. So, and you guys can't see the pop-ups because Google sucks. Google Chrome sucks. Anyway, so that shows you the tracks. And then we have, let's see, what is it? Yeah, I'm still learning a lot of this stuff here. This is okay. Oh God, what did I do?
No speed, no learning allowed.
No learning. Okay, so down here we have layered H3K 27AC. That means that histone 3, the lysine 27, is acetylated, and that indicates that there's a good chance that this gene here expresses because it's available. It's unwrapped a little bit from the histone,
right,
or the nucleosome, and that means it's going to express a little bit right there. So you can see these little marks to the right of that, and that's let me see. Okay, yeah, that's a layer.
Those little orange tiny bumps there.
Yep, those orange tiny bumps. And let's see, if we go out here, we might find more expression.
And that's the place where it's been slightly unwrapped, basically.
Yep. Yeah, so it shows that usually these things run a little bit higher. That gives you a really good indication that you've got a gene here. This track here kind of shows you where the exons are down here. I'm going to have to hide my name. Whoops. Brand. Let me get rid of my name for a minute.
I saw Orge was here earlier. I wonder where he went.
I sent him a link.
Oh, I did actually want to talk to him about some geology stuff for once.
I even talked about pumice rafts. He should have been just thrilled by that.
Let's see here. So let me try to figure this out. But anyway, this is how you figure these things out. You go and type the gene in, you find the location, you start looking at all these tracks, and you can add a million more tracks down here with more information that people have done experiments on to figure out, like, is there variation in the population? You know, all the different alleles, different types, and different tissue expression. This CONS 100 verticals right here that I'm highlighting, that gives you a pretty good idea where exons are based on the heights here. That kind of tells you that it's expressed. And I don't understand CONS 100 verticals. If CRISPR were here, he could straighten us out on this. But anyway, so there's all that. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Well, actually, I had a random question for you, Speed. How familiar are you with those supposed new ERV insertions in koalas? Are you familiar with that at all?
Yep.
Okay. Because recently I had a brief discussion with Bubblegum Gun, I think.
My God. I had one too.
Oh dear.
He asked me which came first, the chicken or the egg. And I said to him, stupid questions came first. And he responded and said, you can't even answer a simple question. And I'm like, so I apologized and said, I'm sorry. I didn't think you were being serious.
Oh.
Anyway. Okay. So go ahead.
So we basically point out this video to me. I don't have it on hand, but basically it talked about how there is the endogenous koala ERV Corv. I'm just going to call it Corv A, and then the exogenous version Corv B, and I wasn't exactly sure what he was trying to argue, but basically he's saying the video there, and the fact that there are two, or I guess what they said, and the fact that there are an endogenous and exogenous ERV in the koala populations,
Right.
somehow means that it's not a relatively new insertion.
No, that's why they believe it is.
Right. Well, because I point out to him that's like neither are found in, or as far as I'm aware, like Corv A, for example, isn't found in all populations of koalas, and that's kind of the main evidence that's a relatively new insertion, right?
Right. Yeah, they figure 100 or 200 years is.
Yeah, I think it's 100 years ago, roughly.
Right, and it hasn't fixed in the population yet. So we've got an endogenous retrovirus, and we also have an exogenous virus that that matches up very closely. And this endogenous retrovirus in the koala's genome is slowly taking over part, like I forget whether it's the northern or the southern Australian koalas.
I wonder if it's possible to get a. I wonder if it's possible to get a 250-year-old DNA sample from koalas, both north and south.
They could, if they found one, like maybe, like, could they? Like one mummified somewhere?
Old slides, maybe? I don't know. But,
yeah, but the chances, okay, if you went back 200 years ago, only one of the koalas had it. So what are your chances of getting him as a fossil?
Right.
If you went back 100 years, you may, you got like what, a 50-50 chance of finding it in the population if it's fixed. So
maybe if you found some old koala teeth or something, 250 years old.
So
do they have teeth? I'm sure they have teeth of some sort.
Yeah, they have teeth, I think.
They eucalyptus leaves, which are really a bitch to chew.
Yeah.
I've never tried. But
that's all day long.
So back in 1962, I used to sit in eucalyptus forests in southern San Francisco, South San Francisco, basically. I used to be up in the eucalyptus forest up there all the time.
Oh.
Mountains between Daly City and San Francisco, where I spent my youth reading. I forget what I was reading at the time. I think it was into physics at the time. So I used to drag library books up there. But anyway, that was a long time ago. That was like back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Were you going to ask something else?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So where was this conversation and what was his reasoning behind how that
So it's some part in the, I think it's LPP's most recent stream. The review is probably in the title. I think it's the one that he didn't do at night, even though it still says late night after show.
Oh, that one. That's where I'm having the comment problem with Bubblegum Gum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bubblegum Dumb, right? Bubblegum Dumb? Is that his?
I thought it was Bubblegum Gun.
Oh, it is. It is Gun.
Yeah.
Okay, I get confused.
It is a confusing name.
I'm glad we have this young whippersnapper here to remember things for us.
And this time it was in the side chat, so it's not the comments, it's the actual side chat.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere though, I think it was towards the end of it, roughly.
It's something about what the fuck, HIV types 1 and 2. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I got a bunch of papers on this. And here's another one.
Yeah, because I thought you'd have something to say on this, and I just want to hear your thoughts on what he's saying here, if you can find it.
Yeah, the evidence is that there is an active jumping gene in the koala genome right now. That's a retrotransposon or an endogenous retrovirus that is actively jumping in the genome, and it is very, very similar to an endogenous retrovirus, an actual virus that attacks koalas and causes carcinomas and a number of other problems.
Huh.
And so we have those two things, and that is what they are all excited about. And the creationists should have never brought it up because it looks slam dunk. Like they asked us, have you ever observed a endogenous retrovirus jumping into the genome? Well, we weren't around 200 years ago. We've got some pretty goddamn good evidence that this
Right.
was a pretty recent jump, because it's
Well,
not.
I'm pretty sure they also have in other species too, like chickens, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's
Because I watched a Stated Clearly video, and I think they mentioned like the koalas, the chickens, and evidence that it happened a while ago in humans, but not really going on recently today.
Yep. Yeah, they're worried about the koalas because of this
Yeah,
this kind of infection.
they
And
seem to be disease prone.
yeah, and they haven't found anything functional about it. Nothing.
Right.
And I thought it was supposed to be they're all ERVs are highly functional. No.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what you're basically telling me is what he said had nothing to do with the actual point being made.
I don't think so. I'd have to look at the conversation. Was this in chat that you had this conversation?
Yeah, the side chat.
Okay.
And like I said, I think it was toward the end, because I remember we were talking about, and then the stream had eventually ended.
Oh my. Logical, probable, and probable.
Oh yeah, I love the fact that when I search for his name in YouTube, it always gets it wrong.
Yeah.
That's just funny to me.
Okay, so the title of that video, okay, it's a 04TE, and I believe I have captured all the chats. So let me go take a look. Oh my goodness, I have downloaded too many papers.
Wonder if Kenny Rhodes has talked about anything science related, or he's just theology kind of topics.
Who is that, Dr. Kenny Rhodes? I'm not sure.
There's a Kenny Rhodes unofficial here in the side chat.
Maybe it's not the real Kenny Rhodes.
The strange thing is, I got his first couple of side chats, but not the one that says "You atheists know."
Maybe YouTube got rid of it.
You disbelieve. Yeah, I wonder if anybody else can still see it, or if YouTube got rid of it because of the sex, maybe the word sex.
Yeah, probably.
Get rid of
Jason.
Maybe drugs. Maybe it cares less about sex and more about drugs.
That would be funny.
Okay, I gotta go back and get this.
Yeah, probably one or the other. Also, Jason is here.
Hey, Jason. Boy, I heard your whatever you did to trigger Darth. I heard that on.
He triggered Darth.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, do we want to show that that clip from? Not the clip. The capture from the side chat from Group's stream the other day, where somebody used Deuteronomy 28:63.
Yeah. Can you bring that up?
It's in your text messages, and you can you put that up on the screen yourself, or?
I'm looking at something. Hang on a second here. Let me get something going here. I did not capture the chats on that stream. We'll take a look at that, Andrew.
I sent you an image of it.
No problem. I just wanted to bring it up.
I will get back to you on this because that is extremely interesting for me.
Okay.
The koalas.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been reading about koalas.
Koalas look so cute and cuddly. Of course, they give chlamydia, right? They have chlamydia.
And they have strong thumbs, I think.
So you are, let me see here, live chat.
Essentially, you could go into a thumb wrestle with a koala and you'd always lose.
Mm-hmm.
Open with preview. Come on, open it up. You can do it. What? Wait a minute.
Oh, I like cosmology too. Well, I guess it depends what you exactly mean by cosmology.
See, I'm not seeing that in the side chat. I'm seeing it, here on StreamYard in the side chat, but not in the YouTube side chat. That's weird.
Audience, is his comment showing up for anyone else?
Who's comment?
I see where it says Dr. Kenny Rhodes unofficial, Ms. WHORE, you disappoint me. And then
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's just on your end, Scott, or if anyone else
then I
is.
see an LOL.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, it's just like only like half of them are coming through for me. That's weird.
I'm trying to blow this up here. Here's the thing you sent me. So,
Yeah.
Assembly of God. You mean
Yeah,
how?
girl, listen up if you're still listening. On your side chat the other day, or it must have been yesterday, it in a kind of a quip to Assembly of God, a certain viewer said, scroll down. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Go
this
up a
is
little
it.
more.
Okay.
Go up a little more. Oh, so go do this. Find the first one I sent you.
The first one. Oh, that one.
Oh, did you shadow ban Kenny?
No.
No?
No.
Why
No,
is Stupid Horror Energy saying that then? What's going on?
What is he? Wait a minute. Well, hang on a second.
What's a shadow ban?
I don't think shadow banning isn't really Speed's thing.
No, I don't ban people.
Sal's thing, but it's not Speed's thing.
Okay, he's now a moderator, so Kenny is now a moderator.
Okay. Use the power wisely, Kenny.
Yeah, okay, so let me try to... Okay, is this the one?
It says Deuteronomy 28:63 or something like that in it.
Okay, so can you read it?
Let me put my glasses on.
Okay, regarding the Holocaust.
Yeah, regarding the Holocaust, Deuteronomy 28:63, and he quotes it, and as the Lord took delight in doing you good and multiplying you, so the Lord will take delight in bringing ruin upon you and destroying you.
Yeah.
Because y'all had been talking a little bit, or the people and Grr and whatever comment on a video he was doing had been talking about the Holocaust, and in some way or another, and then boom, he pops this up, and I don't know if he was just trying to stir the pot a little bit, or
was he trying to explain to us? Was he trying
was
to?
he justifying the Holocaust by saying this from 28:63?
Wait, he's trying to justify it?
Maybe he was trying to lessen the trauma from the Holocaust. You know, if we knew that it was biblical.
Yeah.
And
why should we lessen the trauma of it?
Well, the whole idea would be that some people believe that God was just punishing the Jews for rejecting Christ, and that's why the Holocaust happened, and it's in the Bible. Look, but I don't know how he intended it. He didn't explain himself, and of course, I tried to get.
We shouldn't jump to conclusions then.
No, we shouldn't. So he would have to explain.
I'm just saying it looks a little bit suspicious, but I won't make any claims here.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's just look at the passage. As the Lord took delight in doing you good and multiplying you. Okay, the Lord multiplied me. Okay, so I guess that's why I'm here, right?
No. He's addressing the people of Israel in Deuteronomy 28:63. The audience, in the story, it's like Charlton Heston is up on the rock and he's telling them what God is saying to them, and the people are down, or it may be, I don't know. Is it when Joshua was about to, take them into the promised land? I don't know, but it's a person talking to the children of Israel, the citizens of Israel, and saying, "This is what's going to happen to you."
Oh.
It's not talking to us; it's talking to Israelites.
Okay, not us.
Of course, they weren't really Israelites then because they weren't in the land yet, but still the children of Jacob.
Oh, and why does it have to do with the Holocaust then?
So I don't have to get an asbestos suit or anything like that. I don't have to worry about it.
No.
Okay. I'm glad.
You didn't catch that, Grr? I've pointed it out 2 or 3 times, and I put your Grr streams in there. But then again, I realize you're a busy host. But anyway.
I can't tell half the time whether Stupid Horror Energy is being serious or joking around
I don't know either. That's weird.
because I can't read her mind.
Dixel Drace has her blocked. What a fucking ballsack.
Like I said, I can't tell if she's being serious or if she's making a joke, or I don't know.
She is a rather jolly joker.
That's true.
Well, I was just trying to get your sense, Gruer, of if what you thought it was.
Well,
Was
you're
there
serious.
something in your past conversations with Sal that would have helped us understand what he meant by regarding this or that? And I'd hoped you could catch it, before he left. He said it was a drive-by.
Okay, now
something like that.
the problem is that Stupid Horror Energy said I'm dead serious. But if we don't know if Stupid Horror Energy is serious or not, how do we know that this is serious?
Because some people, when they're trying to rib you, to yank your chain or whatever, will say I'm dead serious.
She's super serious.
I'm going to err on her side and say it's awful that Dixel Drace blocked her.
But
Why
she's
would
super
Vessel
serious.
block her though?
I don't know. I think anybody would be crazy to block Stupid Horror Energy. She is a font of information, and
she makes good points a lot of the time.
She very much does. And even if her points are incorrect, they are usually great fodder for conversation.
Right.
Okay, so we can take this thing down.
I'm so confused.
But anyway, I was just wondering, what Gruer thought of the statement, and if anybody else noticed it who was reading the side chat and what they thought about it.
Apparently there's some tension there.
A ball sack. Well, you know how Dessel's always wrong. So if you
remember, Stupid Horror Energy. But
are you saying he's not just wrong in his thoughts, he's also wrong in his actions?
Wrong in his actions. He's wrong on everything. Like he's 100% of the time wrong about everything. There we go. So then redefine living and a little bit of bubblegum dumb. Whatever.
Say that 10 times fast.
Those two guys were conversing with me on John's thing, and Redefined Energy was asking me about answers in atheism. And so I engaged them.
Redefined Energy? You mean Redefine Living?
Redefine Living. I'm sorry. Sorry, Stupid Horror Energy. I couldn't. Oh my God. What did I do? I created a concoction. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what that would be like if they were?
Let's not get into that.
They merged. Oh my God. Well, they'd be fighting with themselves all the time. But anyway, Redefined Living was going on about answers in atheism, and I told them that basically when you understand naturalism and you think it through to its end, it tells you exactly who and what you are and what your life means.
Right.
And you can look at it a number of different ways. Like you could choose to look at it from a godlike universal perspective and say your life doesn't mean a fucking thing because you're just a little glob of goo, right? On a speck of dust floating around in the universe. But the other thing that naturalism tells you is that you are an organism and you have a brain and your meaning is within you and it's as big as you want it to be. And basically the meaning of your life. But at the same time, you have an understanding that you have this life and you have this day. And I'm 26,098 days old today. That's the only fucking thing that I have. And I'm going to make the best of my day. And it tells you a whole lot of other things about how to live your life morally as a good human organism, good social organism, that sort of thing. And there's a lot of answers in atheism.
Kind of going off a little bit here, but I am pretty confident that Redefine Living's main strategy of conversation is to intentionally misrepresent what the other party is saying.
Yeah.
And I've experienced that several times. He either, like I said, is trying to misrepresent what his opponent is saying, create a straw man and deny that he is, or he is just really bad at reading other people's comments.
Yeah, he's and I told him, I said, you're really bad at this stuff. Do you want to come and have a conversation? And he's like, oh, that's not an argument. And then he wants to go on. So I quit engaging with him.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he's
the
really
best.
bad.
Yeah,
You can't do it in text because he is so bad at it that you can't do it. And he's coming
right.
at me with this presuppositional.
Yeah. He's like Darth Dawkins, but he's almost kind of worse in some senses.
Worse than Darth Dawkins. So what would that look like?
I don't know. Or just from my experience. Then again, I haven't chatted with Darth nearly as much.
Yeah. So
I'll say he's up there.
So did you listen to this? Okay, on that Maddox stream, did you listen to this big guy with a beard? That's going on and on.
Which guy with a beard?
I've got a beard.
The guy in the Maddox stream. The guy with a beard. Let me see.
Oh, the guy he's reviewing?
Yeah, the guy with the beard. This guy.
Yeah.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, it's funny. I told Maddox in the side chat, okay, you do understand that Darwinism and the statement natural selection is important for evolution are two different things, right? And surprise, surprise, he didn't get back to me.
Yeah, so yeah, this guy, I don't know. So I was trying to find this guy, and if you look up Ken Ammo, all you find is stuff about ammunition. So I couldn't find the video.
So who's that guy?
Oh, that's his name?
Ken Ammo? Yeah, I guess so.
Huh.
I wasn't able to find the video. Ken. Okay.
Hey, Snake was right.
Are you sure it's Ammo and not Hamill or something like that?
And if you look at John Maddox's if you look at John Maddox's description, where you can buy some merch and where you can become a member.
He doesn't have any description.
End scene music and all that bullshit. Yeah, no. Didn't really have one.
What'd you put on there? Oh wait, or was that your conversation with the other two guys?
That was it. Yeah. So basically,
Snake was right.
John said he saw me in the side chat, and I don't know, maybe he had the stream up for days, but I wasn't in the side chat, so I wasn't sure if somebody was impersonating me or what they were doing. So anyway, so this went on for what exactly does atheism answer?
I love how we immediately went to that.
Yeah.
Well, never did, or yeah.
Okay, now the real answer to that, the best answer to that is look within.
Yeah, look within. Yeah. That's what I told him.
It gives you. I don't see anything. All I see is Jesus. Well, you're not looking hard enough.
Yeah. It gives you a clear direction in which to live your life. And then he says, clear direction according to who? Tell me how the subjective truth was revealed. And that's where everything went south.
Yeah.
That's where everything went pre-sup after that, right?
Who was dogging speed on SFT stream? Was it Redefine Living?
Dogging you. He was dogging you on. Oh, was he?
Who was she referring to?
Probably Redefined Living. I don't know.
Yeah, or that'd be my guess. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I stopped in the SFT stream a couple of times, and then I can't remember what we were.
Which SFT stream?
I don't know, but I couldn't listen anymore. I just.
Oh yeah, Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was done. I just popped in for a minute or two here and there while I was watching real TV. First Kill on Netflix.
Did you get through all of that Bread of Life stream the other day by any chance? Or not yet?
The one from Cell with Cell?
No, the one with SFT.
Oh, on ERVs, yes, I did get through the entire thing.
Oh, okay.
And it was poop. I don't know what else to say about it. It was just him spinning around and contradicting himself over and over again.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, and then he is in the habit of talking about, well, if they're fixed, then they're one thing, and if they're not fixed, then they're viruses jumping around.
It's kind of this ploy he uses so he doesn't have to deal with one thing, but he can subsume the other thing for his own case.
he said that he predicted if they're fixed, they're 100% functional. That's what he predicts.
Right.
So when is his prediction going to come true? Every time we find a functional one, or after we found all 20 million are functional? What?
Yeah. Well, it drives me up the wall because he seems to either not understand or not want to address the fact that just because you make a prediction about something doesn't automatically mean that you are at the same level of likelihood as the alternative that you're opposing. Like you need to make testable prediction, and the crucial thing, those predictions need to come true.
You need to test it.
Right.
So he's making a testable prediction that something that's going to take 100 years of research basically is going to come out in his favor.
Right.
I don't care. Like I predict I'm going to win the lottery on next Tuesday, tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's you're muted, Scott.
Therefore, I'm right.
I was just going to say, how about it's more like predicting that you're going to win the lottery in 2042.
Right.
Yeah. I'm trying to find something here.
Until you make those predictions, go out and test them and show that they're accurate, then I don't have to listen to a doggone word you have to say.
And they have to be repeatable too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
One-off tests don't really cut it nearly as much.
I want to show you something else. Chromal.
It might actually be fun if Jason could join us and talk about peer review or the repeatability now that we've mentioned it.
Well, we had the link out, but I will put it out again.
Yeah.
And maybe he can join us. It would be nice.
Don't have to, Jason, but just throwing it out there.
You see that bottom line? There's. Well, let me see if I can make it.
The one that looks like a piano, kind of.
Oh God, what did I do? The very bottom line here. Where's repeat maskers? Okay, signs and lines. You see that right here on the right? Okay, let me make it bigger. Okay, these are signs and lines. Right over here. Oh God. Okay, you see that green?
Yep.
Okay, so the top one are signs. You see how many there are? And there's LTRs, and then there's lines, and there's one line here basically in the middle of that. This shows you the signs, lines, and LTRs, which is kind of cool. And it shows them to you for the entire genome. And if you scroll along here, you can see that there are that many of them.
Oh, that's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Oh, it just keeps going and going.
Yep, the genome is filthy with these things. Absolutely filthy with them.
Lines, signs, and ALUs. Oh my.
Lines and signs. Okay, I'm going to go out 100 times. Let's see if we can see that same track. Oh my, what happened?
I think it might be actually kind of off topic a little bit, but it might be interesting to note for the audience.
There they are.
Huh?
You see the bottom now? Okay, the lines.
Yeah, the green portion.
Yeah, those are satellite DNA is on the very bottom, RNA, other unknown DNA, LTR, lines and signs at the top of that. So you can see
so it's kind of categorized here.
Yeah, you can see how many sign images they found, basically. Things that are kind of like signs. This is massively, that's a huge part of the genome. But anyway, so we are filthy with these endogenous or these retrotransposons. Yeah. I don't know why it doesn't show ERVs. I don't know, but
that'd be cool.
I probably have to go and set the track. But anyway.
I was just going to say that it's interesting to note that during interphase, when the cell isn't actively replicating itself, the usual shape or the image we have of chromosomes is this kind of X-ish shape. It isn't exactly how they're arranged. It's more a bunch of a bowl of spaghetti, basically. That's well, obviously a little more organized than that, but they only have that X shape. It's just interesting to note they only have that X shape when they're going through certain stages of the cell cycle during mitosis and
Yep.
meiosis. So
Yeah,
interesting fun fact for anyone listening.
The rest of the time they have, let me see if I can find us an image. Where are we here? Let's see, chromosome territories. If you type that into Google and you go out to images, you will find chromosome territories. And let me see if I can find them here. Yeah, here's a pretty good look at. Yeah, let's see.
Does anybody want to make this bet with Stupid Whore Energy?
When she says SSRs here, she means short segment repeats, right?
You would have to ask her that.
Only a fraction of hundreds of thousands of SSRs. I'm
I
not
feel
sure.
like that's what she means.
In genome,
I don't know what SSR stands for.
Many are. Yeah, I would not take that bet. I would not bet on that. Okay, so there they are. There is a picture of what the genes actually look like over on or the chromosomes actually look like over on the right.
Right.
Like a pile of spaghetti, and they're clustered a whole bunch around. They're clustered around the outside of the nucleus, and they kind of stick to the inner layer of the nucleus, and they're wrapped around, and that's your heterochromatin. That's part that probably isn't totally functional, but they occupy regions they found, and they kind of like wind close to themselves.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me how the genome is organized based on whether it's heterochromatin or euchromatin.
Yep. Here's another more high resolution picture of that.
Wow.
So I mean, you can see, yeah, and the ones that loop out are probably the ones that are in some, like they will loop out with these zinc things. These zinc ions will collect them together and clamp them and form a loop that kind of sticks out and might get translated. And it's all very complicated, and that means God did it.
Yeah.
Right? God must have done it. Must have done it because no natural thing could have done that. And blah, blah, blah. We aren't getting any people coming in today. So,
Yeah, I'm sad.
Yeah, where's Orge?
Where's Orge? Where's Jason?
Orgy, as
Grr.
Germania likes to call him.
Or Ogre, that's how PP likes to call him.
Does he call him Ogre, really?
Yeah.
My.
I don't know why, though. His name clearly isn't. He says he doesn't have a problem with it, but I have a problem with it.
Yeah. So it's 99 degrees here right now, and it is humid.
What is it where you are?
99.
Wow, it's 99 here in Fort Worth as well.
How about that?
And it's humid, and like I've got a fan blowing directly on me, or I would, because my air conditioning is not adequate for the task.
I feel like putting a shirt on because our air conditioner is horrendously effective at what it does. It's horrible.
Oh, so you're too cold?
Usually, yeah. My son turns it down, and I wake up and I'm like, I got frost on my eyelids. So I have to shut the vents off. We used to have a 3-level thing where we had 3 thermostats, but when we put a new furnace in, they decided not to do it the right way. So it kind of sucks to be us. Horrible. Us poor,
terrible
poor people with air conditioning. Yeah, horrible. Oh, I got another picture. What is that picture? Oh,
Randolph Richardson's here. Maybe he'll come into the side chat.
Oh,
Hey, Randolph.
I mean, into the stream. I don't know why I said side chat.
Into the side chat in the log.
He's in the side chat. Maybe he'll come into the stream.
Then I'm going to feel bad because I'm just about to end it. Anyway, so nuclear-associated domains and laminin-associated domains lads and nads. So nads and lads is what. Well, I'm sorry, that's what they're called, Scott. They're nads
Lads
and
and lads.
yeah. It shows you basically all these different domains and the different. Here's a CTCF that manages to clamp together, like I was talking about on the lower right part of the picture. We'd have to visit the site, but then I can't come back. But
Oh, here's a weather update. It just hit 100.
Oof.
let me check. Oh no, we're still at 99, so you're beating us.
Yeah, we're pulling ahead a little.
Texas is so much better. There's some other
You know,
wonderful.
I was looking at a forecast that had us going up to 110 either next week or the week after, but that's a little too far out.
There are also TADs, or topologically associated domains. So TADs, NADs, and LADs is what we're looking at. And the cohesin complex. And it's just very, very complicated. Sorry, guys. It's complicated.
So complicated.
It's so complicated.
Now, weather.com has us in Fort Worth at 101.
Really?
Yes, the feels like is 104.
Look what I just did. I just downloaded that mother. Oh, Mohan.
What'd you do?
I downloaded it.
What'd you download?
The 3D genome from structure to function. That's from 2020. We've known about these things for 20 years, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I think we knew about them a long time ago. Cohesin, lamin, chromosome capture. That's high C capture. They show that on those browsers I was looking at. Interesting. I got to read this paper. But here's our lads, nads, and tads and bads. I want to say bads, nads, lads, and tads.
Speaking of bads, what inspired the name of today's stream?
What do they call it?
Something like Creationists lay more bad eggs or something.
Oh, Sal Cordova and Emery Moyna on his Evidence and Reasons in Academy. They were reading a paper, and he read the abstract, and from the abstract, he was just all giddy that this is devastating for evolution. Evolution is dead now because we found an RNA. We found an RNA that has a function. Devastating.
They just don't know how devastating this is.
Oh, but here's the cool thing, that if you listen to the first 30 minutes of the stream, somewhere in there, he says this wonderful thing. He says RNAs basically hook up with proteins, and the RNAs have all this function, right? He's talking about RNA peptide world.
Right.
Talking about the very beginnings, and he doesn't even realize it. And he's just making a good case. And then they talk about the RNAs and the ribosome, that most of the ribosome is functional because of RNAs, right?
Right.
And all of that points to an RNA peptide world. And he kept saying, I'm like, Sal, you're talking about evolution. You're talking about our shit, and you're making it sound like it's devastating for evolution. I don't get it. Oh, we got
maybe he needs to measure the temperature of, the wider science community. But then again, it's not genuine information giving. It's propaganda. He's clickbait in human form.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Rejected movie ideas.
I can't read it. What does it say?
It's age reversed Home Alone.
Home Alone reboot. I don't know what the hell.
The older guy, the adult, is throwing things and hitting, or swinging things and hitting the kid in the head.
I think it's trying to say if it was like that, it wouldn't be as funny.
We got that from Icarus. Yeah, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be funny if we
it would
were.
Just be abuse would be what it was.
Yeah, it'd be child abuse.
But there is a thing called elder abuse,
Yeah. Get away from my house.
Yeah. Get off
I'm
my
gonna
lawn.
throw paint cans at you.
So I've got two kitties, Loki and Thor. Loki's the evil one. Well, Thor, he goes out every night and he runs up to the raccoons on the other side of the fence, and he goes, meow, meow. And he's like, get off my lawn, get off my lawn. And the raccoons back up about 3 feet because he's so pissed at them.
Yeah.
So he runs along the outer perimeter of the fence, bitching at the raccoons.
See, that's interspeciesism.
Yeah.
You got one species hating another species who's just kind of chill. They're just there for the foodie,
I know, for the dog
foodie
food
value.
Yeah, they just want the food. Anyway. Okay, guys, I think we're going to shoot her in the head.
Yeah, no one seems to be coming in today.
I know.
Yeah,
Maybe everybody's out celebrating Juneteenth, the joy of first freedom.
Yeah. Well, I need a break anyway. I need to go sit out in that heat and absorb it and see what happens to me.
And do some photosynthesis while you're at it?
Yeah. Well, I've got this wonderful perch in my backyard where I sit in a chair and I can read there, and I can also look down like 35, 40 feet into the valley.
Oh, nice.
Wonderful place.
Down in the valley.
And there was an invasive species called buckthorn here in Minnesota, and there were a bunch of buckthorn bushes in the way. So I'd go sit in my chair, I'd see a buckthorn, then I would go outside the gate and shimmy down that hill, which is like worse than 45 degrees on shifting sand with my cutters, cut the buckthorn down, go all the way back up, sit in my chair, and it's like, fuck, that other one's in the way. So I go to shimmy down there and cut that one. Eventually, I got a nice view. So I'm going to go sit out there and chill.
Yeah.
So has anybody done a estimate of how many invasive plant species are just kind of going wild in continental United States?
Oh, God.
I wonder how many have been introduced because of human
Probably
activity.
too many to count.
We got mustard and buckthorn, and those things are, I mean, the buckthorn will take over the entire forest. It'll just kick everything else out. And
Of course, invasive species don't even have to come from like another continent. I mean, you can have one from one side of the United States introduced into maybe the East Coast. But yeah, it's just kind of sad. Kudzu, I think my ex-in-laws lived in a town that was just infested with kudzu. It was everywhere.
Oh, I was in North Carolina, in Charlotte, North Carolina, staying there, and there was a kudzu forest, and it would climb up and on the power lines and collapse them, and they kept having to cut it back. I mean, everything was kudzu. It was horrible. Kind of
Terrible.
Well, I think there were snakes in that kudzu, and I hated snakes.
Snakes in the Kudzu would be a great movie title or book.
That would be a great movie.
Hey, before we close up today, I'm just curious. Well, actually, Nephilim Free has officially returned to YouTube.
I know.
He had that debate the other day about did dinosaurs coexist with humans, and like my first kind of reaction to that was, really, we're really discussing this in the 21st century.
It's hard to believe some of the crap that comes out of their brains. I'm being nice to say brains.
If there were animals that big, I think they would just infect the literature, for the historical literature. I mean, there would have been stories about towns, kids getting eaten by dinosaurs and all kinds of shit. I don't know. I just don't think there's a lot of evidence. A few paintings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they say dinosaurs were called dragons, but if you look on the ancient maps, for example, you have, here be dragons kind of thing.
Yeah.
So are we talking about now aquatic dinosaurs then? Because that's not a thing.
Right.
Or, well, not usually a thing, I should say.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, it might have been just like a bunch of dinosaurs locking hands together and floating. It's called a dragon train, so that they can get across the sea.
Oh, there's some dark humor there, Icarus.
Icarus has gone really dark.
Yeah.
What
That's
teacher?
okay. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying, if you like dark humor, Icarus is the guy to go to today.
Now, let me take away some of the darkness to that humor and say, oh, it wasn't an actual non-avian dinosaur. It was just a giant ostrich.
So
I don't know. That doesn't really help. I'm just
Genetically
throwing that
altered ostrich, maybe?
anyway,
a
everybody
giant
should
ostrich.
everybody should tune out because this may be a spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you where I saw it. But there's a series where there's a line. It's like, "Did you eat my mother?" Yes, I ate your mom. It's like, yeah, really, really a thing. I just saw it recently, and I thought, oh my god, I love this. Can we end now?
Sure.
Whenever you want to.
Bye, boys and girls.
Bye.
Goodbye, goodbye,
Oh,
goodbye.
wait a minute.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, are you pulling a gur on me?
Yeah, dark
Oh,
humor is like kids with cancer, never gets old.
Well, Christopher just got here. Shouldn't we give him one more chance to see if he wants to pop in?
Oh, Christopher, I have questions for you. Please answer. I sent you an email. I know you like me to contact you on Discord, but could you please just look at your CRISPR Cas9 email?
Yeah, not all of us use Discord.
Because I have to fire up Discord. I just hate it. I don't know. Nah, I want to quit now. So
Okay.
maybe we can get Christopher, if you will respond to the mail, maybe we can talk. Come on, check that email. I sent you an email. It's not that hard. Damn. Fuck it. Give me another email, for Christ's sake. One that works. Goodbye, cruel world. We're out of here.
Bye.